Okay, so there's multiple ways you can start a fire. Demonstrating a couple different ways here all at once. Making the TP type of formation is basically so that you have air flow, right? You don't want to put things on top of itself when you're first trying to start it. You can stack logs after the fact. And today we're using starter sticks, waterproof fire sticks. This is Hands, 20 pieces. You can find these in the camping section usually. These are really old. Might be a different brand now, I don't know, but same, right? You can also take, what do you call it? Cotton balls. And if you have petroleum jelly, Vaseline, you can coat the cotton balls in that, kind of open them up a little bit, moving them around, scoop up some of the Vaseline and rub it, work it in, and put several of those in a Ziploc bag and put it in your backpack if you're camping. And when you're ready to use one, you take it out, you open up a little bit, you get some kindling, something dry, obviously, if you can find it. And that Vaseline will burn long enough so that even if it's a little damp, it'll keep the fire on it long enough for hopefully some of it to catch. Now, we live in a dry climate. We're out here in Yuma, Arizona, so this is going to be a pretty easy fire to start. I'm going to use the stick. First time I've ever used these before. And I'm not going to try to do a bushman type of fire starting here. We're just going to go simple. It's a little windy today. I need a fire starter to start the fire starter. I can see it starting to melt here a little bit. There's some sort of petroleum on this too, it looks like. Just to kind of illustrate the fact that that's a fuel. You can see it kind of sweating. All right, so now you gotta kind of go in there a little bit, right? Now this is very dry. So I'm gonna put it in like this. I'm gonna do like this. Put it in several spots here to get it started, right? Maybe a little bit lower. Now I have a lot of dry kindling here of leaves, so it's gonna smoke a lot at first. And if this shifts around, if this structure shifts around as it's going, that's okay. Just so long as it doesn't collapse on the fire and smoke and, you know, snuff it out, basically smother it. And then I'll put the rest of that there. Get the side going. My daughter and I were going to make s'mores when we were on our little vacation this past couple of days, but we never got around to it. So now we have this little thing in the backyard, and I'm gonna get this thing going for her. These sticks are pretty nice. They work pretty well. Yeah, so depending on your kindling, there might be a lot of smoke at the very beginning of it. But the trick is to keep it burning long enough to catch the bigger pieces. When I did my 40-day survival hike, all I took was a backpack. And I overfilled it, actually, so I started dropping things along the way. But things I did have, of course, were things to start a fire with. I had a lighter, a couple of them. You know, redundancy is key, right? So now you see that this wood here is starting to catch. And it'll shift around. It'll move around as things start to break down. But I just gathered all this stuff up from little brush areas here. We're basically all concrete in the backyard, so it's not like we have a whole lot of kindling or sticks or anything like that, but these bushes over here on this side, you can find a bunch of dead leaves dried up because it's like 110 degrees here, like as an average. So it's nice and dry, and then there's plenty of fuel here basically to start our fire. And as you can see, this is starting to blacken here. I'm hoping the bigger ones catch. They should be pretty darn dry here. We got a little tiny pile here of really old wood, so we're gonna burn that up today. And there you go. I mean, this is a little extraneous, a little bit excessive, but just kind of show you the pattern here of how you would position your bigger pieces with your kindling stuffed in the center with a space, with a gap, so that you have airflow. And there you have it. Pretty neat. Now, if it keeps going after the kindling's gone, I did okay. If it doesn't, then I didn't do so okay. And you want something that you can stoke the fire with. You know, you can move stuff around with. Maybe keep an extra piece of wood handy. Something long enough you can kind of poke it around with. This is a little thick, but I'm just going to move the starter stick a little bit further towards the bigger pieces of wood if I can. Get that closer. Yeah, this is a little bit smaller. Let's use this. Kind of push that in there a little bit. Yeah, these bigger pieces have caught. At least that one did. I added some smaller pieces of wood underneath the pile of leaves here too. Something that will burn a little bit longer. Yeah, we're good. We caught. No problems here. Once that breaks down a little bit, I'll add an extra log on, and then we'll get ready to make some s'mores. And as you can see, the fire's coming all the way up to the top here, so as this burns, it'll shift and break down and fall over and stuff like that. But this has a lip on it. If you're not using a burning pit, like if you're on a vacation or if you're hiking or something like that and you're using something other than a pit, then just don't have things close by, tumbling, timber, you know. Make sure you're not catching yourself or your other belongings on fire in the event that it goes doop, like, because it will do that. These pieces of wood are really dry and old. Yeah, it's not really necessary to put it on just yet, but for the sake of video, let's go for it. So this guy over here is burning more. I think I need more on that side. I don't know if another starter stick will do that or not, but there's a little bit of wind going, so I got the smoke coming my direction now. I might even collapse it, but we'll see. Begin to put. Oh, here we go. Was that the wrong one to use? That one doesn't want to break. There we go. See how you can build it too when you have that little space there, that gap. You can add bigger wood to it.